My name is Stephen Baker. I am with Numerex. I'm the Vice President of Product Management, and I own all the network and platform products that we put out to the market. I'm going to take you through, very briefly, the story of our NXFast platform. For those of you who don't know Numerex, we have a bit of a history in this particular market. We started out about 2 decades ago, and we were a spin-out of a company called Bell South. Way back then, and back then it was their telematics group. And over the last 2 decades, we've grown through either organic development or acquisition, and we've been in this market probably through the M2M phase, now the IOT phase, and whatever acronym we come up with next. So we've been out there a bit. We've developed a platform that we're rather proud of, and it's becoming to be a very useful thing out in the market. It's the versatility is what I'll go over, but we have quite a few customers out there, and we're continuing to grow. We think the future is very exciting. So just to take you through, I was actually watching the presentation before the Battle of the Platforms, and I noticed that they put up a nice diagram, and really out of necessity as well as from customer requests, we've actually defined out 4 layers. You might have seen in the press, we talked about Numerex DNA, device, network, and application. Well, we actually have a 4th layer that I refer to as the content layer. And if you think of the OSI model, each of these layers has a specific function, and we try to build these so that they're loosely coupled but with a high degree of cohesion so they work together very well. We build them loosely coupled so we can break them apart when we need to. And that's really one of the key cornerstones of our NXFast platform. Starting at the bottom, devices. We look at those as obviously the collection. You know, there's a remote device you have from our previous presentation, beacons, where we're collecting that data from various sensors, either on board or built into the device. And we're providing both local queuing when we can't get to the network, as well as alternate routing. If we put a Wi-Fi radio in with a cellular and a satellite radio, we can build the intelligence into that device to pick the most economical route to get back to the application server. Moving to the network, like many of the MVNOs, you'll see some presentations later, we have multiple carriers that we support and work with. And one of the most important things we found in our platform that we needed to build for our verticals was the ability to create network normalization. I did not want any software or product above the network layer to know what the network was, how it worked, or anything specific about it. We wanted to normalize that piece for both ourselves and our customers. And I'll show you a use case for that. Above that layer is content. Content is a little bit hard to define, but the way we look at that is that's where we terminate the specifics about the device. So the content layer and the device layer work hand in hand. In our case, we're trying to provide device normalization. We don't believe our applications should or need to know what kind of device we're actually working with, and we don't want them to know the specifics of how to communicate with that. So by the time we get to the application layer, there's no need for anyone to know what IoT really is. If you want to add telematics to your application, you shouldn't need to know cellular, satellite, Wi-Fi, beacons. It doesn't matter. Concentrate on the value add that you're bringing to market. So I'd like to take you through, first of all, what we offer in our NXFast platform. So starting at the top, we have a number of vertical applications that we both deploy directly to the market, as well as through distributors and dealers. Probably our largest vertical is our Uplink product line, which is a full-end security system specifically built for dealers. We have judicial monitoring, a consumer security product, and we're in supply chain asset management and oil and gas. And we do this in 2 ways. We actually build to white label and allow people to take our applications and put them on their own networks. The Cloud Connect piece, the content layer, comes in underneath that. That's where we present to applications, especially third-party developers, who are looking to get a handoff for, let's say, telematics or location or control or tracking, say at a JSON level, and they don't want to know anything that happens below that. And there's various functions and services from an IoT perspective we build into that layer. From the network perspective, a broad base of coverage options come with our network services. And of course, we design our own devices as well as fulfill third-party devices out there. So what I'd like to do is take you through a few use cases very quickly. We have a company that we work with. This is what we consider a network-only customer. They're only interested in our network component, and the company's RTC, and they actually control school flashers. And what we do is we have them build straight on top of our network services, and then we put their device underneath our network, and we provide a robust network offering which allows them to easily move, say, from a U.S. carrier to a Canadian carrier to a European carrier with making no changes to their applications. Of course, the device has to be modified somewhat, but it gives us a way to make them more flexible across each of the coverage options. If I add in a newer class, we're actually getting a lot of people coming in, and this is where you have the type of people that are saying, I have an application, I want to get it on the cellular satellite network. I do not want to know anything about that. So we bring the bottom 3 layers, including a fully, either one of our design devices or a third-party device we fulfill and build into our layers, and we provide them the mechanism to get out quickly. A couple examples we've had here with various tracking companies where I've sat with the developers and they've actually integrated into our network and began providing cellular-based location in under an hour with their application. And that's the kind of flexibility that we're trying to get out there. Another one that has actually been happening a lot in the last 2 years is the fact that we have carriers now coming to us saying, we want to get into IOT, we want to move up that food chain, and we want to be able to put an application out there very quickly. We need a hosted model, but hey, you know what? We want it on our network. So we take our NXFest platform, we pull out our network services, plug theirs in, establish the flow through provisioning and all of the billing aspects, and they're off and running. And we've got, we did a RCA carrier about 2 years ago, and we're working with several carriers that are here in the audience currently. This has become very popular as a manifestation of how we deploy the network. And lastly, we are a one-stop shop. So we actually provide top to bottom. We can provide you with a completely hosted and managed service. The best example I can give of that is our Uplink product line. And Uplink is a fully hosted, distributor-based security system. Has a few differentiators, including extended installer support. But all of our solutions, because they're built on our Cloud Connect platform, are easy to port between carrier offerings as well. So that's really where we believe we're differentiated, is we can pick each of these pieces apart and provide them in different combinations for our customers. So what are we providing in NXFast? We build our applications so that we understand there's a distributor or dealer model or a VAR model so that you can white label, you can go out and have sub-accounts and build your business without us being in the loop. We've built a service layer architecture so that each of these components can be broken out and plugged into with APIs, usually high-level APIs, and various interfaces that you might get from most carriers. We currently have over 7 carriers integrated in our network services. We have actually a brand new management portal that we're releasing this month. And we built a new set of devices that are more platform-based, meaning that we can take the device and plug and play various radio or sensor components depending on what the needs of the application are. So a single type of product that we can deploy quickly for different scenarios. So in the end, we bring a quick start capability by being able to pull individual modules out. We encourage people to bring their own thing, and we're satisfying that particular diversity in the market, and we are a one-stop shop. So, now I'm done.
Excellent. So do we have any questions from our judges? No, none whatsoever. And Dan's not going to give me any? They're busy. Okay. Hold on.
No.
Go ahead, Jared.
Thought it was done.
You kind of went through quick. Can you talk me through your naming of your platforms, actually? You had one slide. It had some names. I'd actually
Well, yeah, we have a lot of names. So we have a lot of vertical applications such as iManage, iTank. iManage being an asset management and monitoring application. We have iTank, oil and gas application. We have Uplink. We have OmniLink, which we just purchased about 1.5 years ago, which is judicial monitoring. We have Smart Guide, which is an updated tracking application, fleet tracking application. Then our content layer was branded NX Cloud Connect. And yeah. So what Cloud Connect does is it's based off a number of device translators that we build against, say, individual distributors' models. So each device, as you know, speaks a different language. How you activate, register, and provision is done separately. So we have a number of device translators that we build, and it takes the interaction with that device and adds a couple of capabilities like store and forward and replay capability at a data level. And it presents the data up to the application in a nice high-level view, a telematics JSON module or a location JSON module. So it's really built to provide that last bit of decoupling from the underlying pieces of the IoT architecture and make it really easy to put applications on, and applications that can migrate. Just because you change which device you're using, you should not have to make changes in your application. So the response I get, the question I get from most customers that use that layer is, I've got a developer here, he's great at developing my application, he spent 4 hours debugging a device this morning, and I don't want him doing that. And that's where Cloud Connect comes in.
Excellent. Another round of applause.